Let's look at the game on the field. Where's this game going to be won and lost if it goes ahead at Principality this weekend, lads?
Two teams that are struggling. Two teams that are in transition. Two teams that I'm not bothered about because we have got France in Paris. But I really don't know. I don't see how Wales win this. But I've said that. How many times have I said that? If you would have stitched all that together, producer Rob, how many times have I said?
You've basically just given Wales the victory by saying that Wales can't win it. Because you clown, you've always written them off. Then they win the Grand Slam. Then they win the Six Nations or whatever. Now you've just said it deliberately so they beat England. You horrible man, Jim. You're English. Never forget your roots.
I've done it on purpose. I'm quarter English and you're a bit Welsh, so I'm your bit of Welsh because we're doing this together. So backs against the wall, everything that's going on. I don't know how Wales win it, but you can see them winning it because of the emotion and the drama and everything in it. If it does go ahead, I think the energy and the atmosphere, and I hope the public come out to support if the tickets aren't ridiculously overpriced. I know there's another issue with that, but trying to stay positive and try and build up the game. Imagine the energy and the atmosphere and the emotion from the players as well. Like imagine the build-up that they're going to have, not just as players, but as their families, the coaches, the fans. And it's always an unbelievable game, isn't it? But
yeah, it will be electric if it goes ahead. And the quicker the WRU come out and say, listen, we've heard what the players say, we're happy to agree to those terms, that can build the emotion in the whole of Wales around, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel for this shit show that's been going on, behind boardroom doors and everything like that. So I think, listen, they've got the firepower, Wales, they've got a big performance. Gatland can get some emotional energy out of this Wales team for one big performance. They went into that Ireland game pumped up to the eyeballs. Discipline was abysmal in that first half. Ireland were outstanding. Put them to the sword. It was then a dead second half, wasn't it? You go up to Scotland, you're in the fight. If Rio Dyer catches the ball just before half time, you've got a different team talk at half time. You're perhaps ahead up there, and then you can play on emotions a bit in the second half. But Scotland was so good in that second half, they took them to pieces. When England go to town in Cardiff, there's a whole new level of emotion that comes out of the whole of the Welsh public. They really hate us. And that will be inbred inside the players as well. The physicality that they need to bring.
What did you say? What did you say it would be?
I said inbred in them. They're not inbred, James.
Andrew, these subtle things that you put, you're also a smart man. Like you are a smart man. You know what you're doing.
So, yeah, I mean, where does he go? Does he bring Faletau back in? Alan Wynne-Jones? Ken Owens, obviously, as captain at the minute, Tipperick, or do you go with the youngsters, or is there a blend? I think there'll be a blend. I think people are crying for Owen Williams to start ahead of Dan Biggar, which I think is madness. As much as I like Owen Williams, good player, he didn't have a club a few months ago, and he's played well for the Ospreys, but this is Dan Biggar we're talking about, one of the most competitive players you've ever seen in that 10 jersey. So I think for Wales, what do they need to bring? They need to sort their discipline out. That's the main thing. And there's a line between the passion and the energy that Gats can give them to go and try and dismantle an English team that, let's be honest, an English team we're finding our feet. We're trying to understand how to play the game. There's question marks around. What we can do is drive a fucking maul to the cowsheds and back. So don't take out the maul, because we're good at that. James, is that going to be the next thing you're going to say? Take out the maul and the scrum.
Never.
So, listen, for England, we've got to play... The way we played against Italy, tactically, would be the right way to go down to Cardiff in that first half. Against Italy, it was a dull game. We were kicking the leather off it. Even into the second half, we didn't put any energy into the game. There was no kind of desire to speed the game up. We need to do that. Looking at how Scotland and Ireland beat Wales, the pace that they played at Scotland in that second half, the energy that they brought in attack, the speed of ball at the breakdown, winning the collisions, and then profiting from playing against a disorganised defence who are on the back foot. That's what England need to look to do. And we're going to go down there, no doubt, with the same game plan that Steve Borthwick always employs, which is driving line-outs, box kicking, playing a big territorial battle to try and push Wales back into their own half and force them to play from deep. And it will be a real tactical battle that whoever kind of blinks first around making an error in their own half from trying to run it out, and you can see certain players will have more energy to do that than others. Discipline around that, and discipline isn't just giving penalties away at the breakdown. Discipline is sticking to your structures and how you play, and England will go with a pretty simple game plan and try and take them on up front with a solid kicking game and a force of pressure game on a Wales team that have played 2, lost 2, and played 2 and lost 2 pretty convincingly as well.
Do you see many changes that Borthwick's going to bring in? Tom Curry, Courtney Lawes?
Tom Curry definitely in.
Well,
he was good.
He was good, but then how good was Jack Willis when he played? He was pretty much the best player on the field at times, Jack Willis, and he took him off early. Listen, Tom Curry is a wonderful talent, and he was very good at the weekend. I can see him being in the mix. Courtney Lawes, someone... You got to remember, he hasn't played any rugby, has he, Courtney?
No, he won't come straight back in. He might be on the bench.
Yeah, I can't see him being back in the mix. It's great to have around the place, impart knowledge. Might be on the bench, but I think Chesham's played really well. Ludlam's played really well as well, hasn't he, in the back row? And they're the 2 positions that Courtney could cover, 6 or second row, and it's a tough one, isn't it?
He'll be on the bench. Courtney Lawes, I think. Not that Nick Ezekwe hasn't done amazingly well, but it's Courtney Lawes. He covers both them positions. I don't think the line-out's a huge issue against Wales. I think you've got enough with Ollie Chesham and Marrow. Marrow needs to play well. Let's put it out there. I think you've got enough options with him. So you might see Willis, Tom Curry, and Ludlam at 8. That's the rumour.
Oh, no Don Brandt.
No Don Brandt.
Yeah, no. He's not played that well.
I'd keep Don Brandt. Well, yeah, he's been on and off, hasn't he? Then the other one, Goody, is Ollie Hassel-Collins injured, isn't he? He's gone back with a knee.
I think you see Anthony Watson on the wing.
Not Arundel?
Yeah, I mean, Arundel, I'd definitely have him involved, but I just think going down to Cardiff, he might go back to... Hey, listen, Steve Borthwick isn't shy of an old player, is he? He's brought Dan Cole back. And not that Anthony Watson's old, but it's a flip of the coin in terms of experience and understanding the heat that's going to come, and having someone like Anthony Watson with all his experience, or just going balls out. There you go, Arundel. Show us what you are, because he's a worldie of a player, Arundel. I'm not sure how great he's going to be under the high ball, under that pressure on the wing, maybe.
He might be up against Lewis Rees-Zammit, though. It might be like wheels on wheels.
Wheels
on wheels.
How good was it seeing Lewis Rees-Zammit back at the weekend?
Yeah, he was class. He was ridiculous. How funny was George Skibbington's interview? He didn't want to talk him up. But I spoke to Ravo after. I was like, mate, they just said, we're just trying to keep him grounded because they've got all the Netflix cameras following him at Gloucester and stuff as well as his returns to fitness. But wheels on wheels.
Where are Wales at the minute? Obviously, Gats came in. Everyone expected to see a big bounce in terms of performance. They've played 2, lost 2. Obviously, against Ireland, the best team in the world, they had their trousers pulled down a bit. But up in Scotland, they had their trousers pulled down again. Where do they go? Do they go young? Do they go back to the old boys? Does he have a mix? What does Gats do?
It was madness, really. We'd lost against Italy. We'd lost against Georgia. We were in a winning position against Australia, and we threw that away. And then all of a sudden, Gatland comes in, and there's false optimism everywhere. Oh, yeah, we'll beat Ireland. I think, hang on now. You're talking about a side who are brilliantly coached, right? The regions are going well over there, and they've just beaten New Zealand in their own backyard, right? So I was thinking, where's this come from? Only because of Gatland. So I kind of felt that they'd lose to Ireland. Scotland, it all depended on how Scotland bounced back, and but it's just the lack of patterns and plays and tactics that I find that we don't go through the phases. Ken, I feel sorry for Ken Owens. He carries, all the time. He gets battered and he gets up and goes again. He gets battered. So I think everyone's got to share the workload now. But they have, what it's like when you're playing, and if you're on the attack, that's all you got to do is make the defence make decisions. And if they make the right ones, fair enough, you've had a go. If they make the wrong ones, you maybe go through and score, right? But we're not actually asking any questions for defences. We go a few phases, Dan Bigger gets back in the pocket, and we kick it. So that's been the frustration for me, not having lost. We don't know what style of play we're playing, and we don't execute anything. So, yeah, they played with a lot of heart. But I think selection is huge for this weekend. I think Falatau's got to come back. Maybe Tompkins goes in at 12 with George at 13. The Gloucester flyer comes in, Zamet, he's got to come in. But the thing is, we don't get that. We got nice back three, but we don't use them. And I'm looking at it, that's Wales. With England against Italy, I didn't understand their tactics where they went 1 or 2 phases, into the 22, they kicked. Okay, if it comes off, fair enough, it's a try. But that if they come with that against Wales and be static, Wales just love a dogfight. And if that's the case, I think Wales will win.
He's believing. He's back. Jiffy's
No,
back.
I honestly,
He's sold it to me.
going to Italy or going to France, right? I think they could lose both of them, right? England at home and the way England are playing, it plays into Welsh hands, I think. But if they go through phases and they ask questions, then England, are the better side. But if they don't and they kick possession away, then I think Wales will win. It'll be a dog. It won't be the prettiest game if Wales win. Let me tell you.
Pod.
Rugby pod.